It is International Overdose Awareness Day today. The medical community and activists team up on this day to try to help end overdoses and to remove the stigma around drug use. Dozens of events are planned across the country today, but as Georgie Smythe explains, the annual day is coming at a time when many in BC are overwhelmed with the staggering number of overdose deaths.
Ending overdoses, removing stigma from people who have died from drug poisonings, and acknowledging the grief of victims' families and friends are the goals of International Overdose Awareness Day, which is the world's largest annual campaign about drug overdoses. Here in BC, more than 1,455 people have died from toxic drugs since the beginning of this year. That's even after the province decriminalised small amounts of certain illicit drugs for people aged 18 years and above in January. That's according to the latest data from the BC Coroner's Service, which tracks unregulated drug deaths here and is the most ever recorded in the first 7 months of a year in BC since a public health emergency was declared in 2016. A total of 12,739 people in the province have died from drug overdoses in those 7 years. That number and the names behind them will be front of mind today as events commemorating those deaths take place. For some people, that means grieving brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, daughters, and for Shirley Wilson, her son Jacob, who died 2 years ago from a fentanyl overdose. Her message to Canadians today is that addiction and overdose can happen in any family.
Every single one of those is a human. In between all of those numbers are humans. Just imagine the faces. And it can happen to anyone. It happened to us. It can happen to anyone. Addicts may come from different spaces, different families, different homes, different lifestyles. They may be professional, they may be unemployed. But in the end, when we think about the addicts who have passed, that's their commonality. Is death.
The theme for this year is recognizing people who go unseen in the drug epidemic, whose loved ones have died or suffered permanent injuries from a drug overdose, and to send the message that drug overdose is preventable. Georgie Smythe, CBC News, Vancouver.